1 a.m. I was about to go to bed, but now I'm walking around in the parking lot. I got a story that you need to hear. I've been wanting to talk about this for a while because I think it's super interesting, and I don't really think there's a better time to do it now than the day that Cooper announced that he's starting his own thing. What I'm doing today, Cooper plays a direct role in through some like very obscure interactions that, had they not happened, I don't know what I'd be doing right now. This goes all the way back to early 2017, as far as I can remember. That was the first time I ever heard his name. And that was after I did Drag Week in 2016 with the Escalade, which was like really my eye-opener to like this whole world and what you could do with it by still doing stuff that you like to do. On that Drag Week, I didn't meet Cooper, but I met Matt from 1320. And I got to talking to him at one of the checkpoints, and you know, like talking for a while. He thought it was real interesting, and just kind of, you know, got to know him a little bit. After that, I had, you know, now I know Matt. I think January, February rolls around. I'm trying to get momentum to like start the turbo build for the Escalade. I reach out to Matt and ask him like, hey, if I got like some good pictures, do you think that somebody would post them on the 1320 page? And he's like, yeah, dude, send me what you got. And I'll send him to Cooper. And I'm like, who's Cooper? And he's like, he runs the Instagram page, Cooper Bogetti. So I'm like, okay, me being the network oriented guy that I am, I go find Cooper Bogetti on Instagram and Facebook, and I add him. And okay, well, this is the guy who does that now, because that's just what I do. I remember sitting in, you know, Dr. Bardolph's writing class or whatever it was at Penn State, like doing this. I was never paying attention. I was always doing stuff on my phone, like stuff like that. And he posted like a aerial shot that I took from like the second floor of a building in my garage complex of the Escalade when it had a blower on it. That post got me like 2,000 followers or something, which was astronomical at the time, because before I did Drag Week, my Instagram page, I literally had 1,200 followers, and probably 400 of them were people that I went to high school with or knew through like playing hockey or whatever. And the rest of them, you know, I got posted on a couple Monte Carlo pages at the time, because back then the Escalade was still just my boring old daily driver. I didn't know what I was gonna do with myself. I just knew that I liked messing with cars. It was basically my escape from being like a real person. Like I don't know. It's just all I wanted to do, so that's what I did, and I didn't think about anything else. Jump back to present time in the storyline, 2017. Cooper posts this picture, at least I'm pretty sure it was Cooper because Matt told me it was, and it does like really well, and I'm like, man, this is crazy. And I think I found him on Instagram shortly after that too, because he had that Tahoe back then also, and like I followed him and he followed me, and it's kind of like, you know, started going back and forth from there, just briefly. Didn't really know him that well, just every now and then I'd comment on something, because or I'd bust his balls about boosting his Tahoe, which he still hasn't done. That needs to happen, but he still hasn't done it. Yeah, so that, you know, kind of continues, and then we'll jump forward to LS Fest West 2018. He was going to that with Garrett, and I saw him put it on his story, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna be there too. And he's like, oh, sweet, like, stop by, whatever. So, funny thing is, I was going to LS Fest West to help one of my friends that was racing his car. And like 2 days before I was supposed to fly out there, his car caught on fire, so he couldn't race anymore. And I'm just like, you know what, dude, like, we should still go. Be good, you know, it's a good networking opportunity. Instead of focusing on the car, we'll just focus on talking to people and, you know, see what's going on. It's like, it's Vegas, we'll have a good time. So we did. And that's the first time I met Cooper in person. Like, actually, you know, because we'd gone back and forth on Instagram, whatever, but I'd never actually met him face to face, and that was when that happened. And coincidentally enough, he was like, hey, this is Justin Keith, the guy who owns Streetcar Takeover. And I was like, oh, hey, what's up? Like, I didn't really know what Streetcar Takeover was, but I knew that that's where I was going to take the Escalade when I finished it, because I knew that's where like people went that had cool stuff. It's weird how all this works. Like, in my sponsorship proposal document that I had for the Escalade, literally probably 5 out of the 10 events I had listed on there were Streetcar Takeovers And I had never been to one before. I just knew that that's where I was gonna go. So I got to meet Justin. Didn't talk to him a whole lot, but I'm kind of like, okay, well, there's this Justin guy. I don't know exactly what he does, but he owns this event and I'm gonna go there. And then that was May of 2018. Skip to December of 2018 at the PRI show. And we're out doing stuff. It's what you do. Cooper comes into the picture again, messages me when everybody's out, running around like the bars and stuff, because that's like what you do after the show. That's most where the networking happens, is after the show. He's like, yo dude, come to Brothers. So I'm like, all right, going to Brothers. I go over there. That is where I met, he was there again, several slushies deep. I don't even know if he remembers doing this or telling me to go there, but he did, and I went there and I met Justin again. And that was kind of when, like, oh yeah, you're that guy, like, and Nick Savage was there too. Nick was at LS Fest in 2018. So I'm like, okay, I kind of see these guys again. And I end up hanging out with them because everybody's going home and Justin's like, we're not done yet. And then I go with them. He was talking to the Uber driver about being from Kansas City or whatever. So I'm like, okay, well, this Justin guy lives in Kansas City. Well, a few months after that, I ended up going to Kansas City and reaching out to Justin, who I had only met those 2 times. I was just like, hey dude, I'm gonna be in Kansas City, like, what are you doing? So met up with him, did some stuff, and once I got the Escalade 2 functional stuff, I went to the kickoff party in Kansas City, and then I did Bristol. At that time, I was still in college, and I needed an internship to graduate. That was like part of my degree requirement. So Justin had mentioned, like, maybe he's starting a shop, might need a fabricator or something. And I was like, yeah, well, before I could like do a real job, I got to graduate first. Like, I need an internship. Like, you guys want an intern? Like, I'll help you do stuff. I'm gonna be there anyway. And he's like, yeah dude, send the paperwork over, we'll do it. So that's how I became an intern with Streetcar Takeover. Like, I legitimately got 6 credits from Penn State to go race my car. That was a thing that happened. That's why I was there last year, which is a very creative leveraging of my situation on my behalf, because like my freaking the school expense, like, heck, that's my credit. Like, I'm getting 6 credits to go do this. That's equivalent to like 2 classes. Being a Streetcar Takeover is what led me to disappear from Pennsylvania, end up staying in my race trailer. And if you don't know already, Streetcar Takeover has 2 owners, Justin Keith and Chase Lautenbach. Justin is who I knew first, and then I met Chase and ended up staying in Oklahoma City because of Chase. I stayed there to do the twin turbo setup on his Mustang, and that is when the whole transgression happened where my shower drain got messed up. I had to tear my floor out, and then he was like, just stay in my RV while you're working on my car, because it was like a time sensitive deal. So I did that, and then I'm in his RV for a couple weeks working on the car, and I'm like, this really isn't that bad. Like, I kind of like this. Maybe I should just sell my truck and trailer and get me one of these things. And that was last October. 11 months later, I'm sitting here looking at exactly what I said I wanted to do. So to sum it all up, if there is no Cooper, honestly, there's probably no me. And maybe there would be, but it wouldn't be the me in the form that you're seeing right now in that 777 performance in Arlington, Texas, with Robbie Gordon's old Newell, and making this YouTube video right now. I might be doing something else in some other trajectory, but just that quickly, my life just went in a direction that I was totally not ready for, but absolutely wanted to go into. It's just that's why you put yourself out there, you talk to people, and you bring value to the table. You don't just, like, no one's gonna put you on. Like, that doesn't work like that. You gotta do something for them. You gotta carry something with you that's worth something in their eyes for their own lives. That's why people want to help you. That's how you get places. Like, if I wasn't like hustling and doing stuff and breaking out of the box with the Escalade, none of these guys would have ever given a crap to talk to me, because I'm not worth anything to them. That's how it works. That's the essence of life. Whether whether you want to believe it or not, everybody does everything out of self-interest. I don't care what you say. It's just how it is. If it's not a two-way street, nothing happens. So there's many people like Cooper along my story of the last 5 years that play, I'd say, close to or equal amount of role when it comes to like changing the course of my ship through something they did. But Cooper's one of those keystone guys that if you pull him out of the timeline, I don't know where I'm at right now. And I just think it's super cool that he's out starting his own thing, and I can't wait to do stuff with him, and hopefully he finally boosts that Tahoe, and I'd love to build a turbo kit for it. Because, heck, I don't know. If there's no Cooper, there might not be a me. And you might not be sitting here right now. I may not have these lessons to pass on. And that's really the essence of what I do here. That's why I do it. Because, I don't know. I mean, I've said this before, and I've beat it to death on Instagram if you followed me there for the last couple years, but I'm not gonna change. Like, I'm me. I'm still that guy that showed up to Drag Week 2016 not knowing what he was doing, and I had like 1,000 Instagram followers, and I was just some dude who freaking hated going to college and was avoiding responsibility. I'm still that guy. I still feel like that guy. I don't care. I don't identify with the numbers. That's not, my self-worth is not tied to the numbers on a social media page. All that does is signify to me how much more responsibility I have to put out the correct information to hopefully be that piece in someone else's timeline that changes their direction to do something that they never thought they could do. And the coolest part about that is I don't even have to be physically in front of somebody to do that with these platforms. I just think that's freaking the coolest thing ever, because if it wasn't for guys like Cooper and Justin Keith and Chase Lautenbach and Jeff Lutz, I might be sitting somewhere at some job I freaking hate, living for Friday, like not knowing what I'm gonna do. And because of guys like that, I get to sit here and chase the dream, and I could not be more grateful for that as I just sit here absorbing what the actual heck is going on. Like, it's a shock to me sometimes when I step back and think about what I'm actually doing. It's just like, I think I'm just gonna have to make this like my thing. I'm just pumped to be alive, really. It's just, I'm out of words. I know that was a lot. I could dig so much more into that story, and I'd love to like sit down with Cooper and talk about that with him, to kind of like, because I don't even know if he knows this. I've never told him. If he watches this video, that's probably going to be the first time he's like heard that from my perspective, and maybe even comprehends how much of an influence he had on my path, because I honestly don't think he knows. So Cooper, if you're watching this, I'm extremely grateful for that, even though it was just, you know, you probably weren't even thinking about it. That's just doing you changed my game. And that's why you should always, you know, do your best, put it out there, because you never know when something that you do just in passing could completely detour someone's path for the better. Everybody's effort is pooled. Like, when you do better, you bring others up around you, whether you know it or not. So I could go on and on about this forever. I got so many more stories of all this stuff and just things I've learned, observations I've had, and I promise you I'm not gonna change. I'm still that 20-year-old dude who's, you know, not really knowing what he's doing. I'm that guy. I still don't know what I'm doing. I'm just the common denominator between my 19-year-old self and my 24-year-old self that's standing here right now is I just do what I feel like I need to do right now, because I trust my gut. I trusted my gut back then when I bought that blower and stuck it on there without telling my dad. I trust my gut right now. I trusted my gut when I thought that I needed to get a freaking Newell and live in it and that was a good idea. It just seems like, you know, just trust your gut. That's it. Hit that subscribe button. Go subscribe to Cooper. He's the man. I'm here to stay. He is too. I hope you are. Someday you'll talk about the very beginning. You're here right now, living it with us.